we're gonna be talking about some concept here, which is what is the difference between abstract class and interface. This is like very important concept. There is little bit of technical that you might need to understand, but in terms of business wise and how you think of interface and how you think of abstract class, this is a core concept here. So a core idea that you need to be aware of. First, I'm gonna be focusing on this package. We have payment class and payment interface. The payment class that we have is this is an abstract class. So what is a crucial differentiation between abstract class and interface is how you relate things together. So for example, if we have Visa payment, let's add like Visa payment here. This Visa payment, is it a payment or not? So if the answer of is a payment class is a true, is a valid, this is making sense, then the relation is gonna be extending payment class. If the relation is a, like this Visa payment is a payment class, but if the case is not, it's not is a, like this is not Visa payment. The Visa payment for our case is a payment class. Yeah, this is making sense. So basically, this means we need to extend. So what happens if we're gonna be talking about something else? Let's say validation processing. So we know that we have some sort of implementation here. For example, for the pay, we're paying some email address here. So we need to have some sort of implementation. So let's say what we need to do now, we need to have some validation processing. So let's say we have an interface here, which is called validation, and just stand with me, validation processing, or let's say validation payment processing. Okay, this is an interface, and it's gonna be having like print is valid, and you're gonna be passing some kind of card number. So this is the interface that you have. So let's go back to the Visa payment that we have. So now we want to make sure, is the validating payment processing is a Visa payment or not? The answer is no. The answer is the Visa payment is not a validating payment processing. This is not wrong. So this means it's not a class. So what is it? It's a behavior. It's a way of doing things. It is not an is a relation. It is something else. And since it's something else other than is a relation, it's some kind of behavior, it's some kind of implementation of logic. This means we're gonna be implementing this interface. This is a core concept here. Like you need to understand the difference between a class and interface. So class and is a relation. Interface is not an is a. Interface is some kind of behavior and that you want to implement. So this is basically the main point of understanding the concepts of abstraction, abstract interface, and I mean abstract class and interface. But in terms of technicality, it's pretty straightforward. For example, you're opening an abstract class. Usually, if you're gonna making any method here, you most probably need to put like an abstract class, abstract keyword before the method in order to make it abstract, so it can be overridden in the subclasses, such as the Visa payment. Here we have overridden the pay, which is available in this call. Also, it has the print method, so you can access this print method somewhere here, I believe. So yeah, so if we have this one here, we can say print, which is basically the print method that's being called here. This is a default behavior that you can add, but if you added the semicolon at the end of the signature of the method, then you're gonna need to make it an abstract. So this is for abstract. So what for the interface, it's pretty similar. Interface, all the methods that you include are internally abstract, like you don't really care about it, because see, like modifier abstract is redundant for interface because interface is expected to be abstracted by default. So the point here is similar, and you can add a body from like the print method to to be used in later. For example, in the visa, let's just remove this one here because we want to make sure that we can use print here. So now can we use the print? We cannot wide, it's CY. Yeah, I did not add the print here. So yeah, this is payment process. So let me just add it here. And if we go now to the visa payment, we can print. So also I want just to show you something here. So what happened if I'm gonna be payment interface here? So now we have two, like I'm gonna override all, and now we have this print, which is overridden. I don't really want to override the print here. So is it really, did we add an abstract method for, let me just open this. We have the print and we have pay. So both of them are default print. And if you, okay, let's just do something here just for the sake of simplicity. I'm gonna have just a default print here. I'm also gonna have the default print here as well. So now most interfacing that we have is just print. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna remove this one, I'm gonna remove this one, and now I'm implementing those two interfaces, which is basically printing interface. And this is really not like valid approach, but I'm just gonna do it just for the sake of doing it. And now if you notice that visa, it says that inherent unrelated defaults for print from types this kind of validating processing and payment processing. So basically we have two different, and we need to identify one certain behavior. We either printing this one or we're printing the other. You can't really print both. So you need to identify which one you're gonna be using. So you're either going to be printing this or you're either going to be printing this. So this is also another way when you're working with a similar method signature within two different scopes. Also this happens, I believe, so if we made it like void here and ended it into semicolon, this will give you the same kind of error, I believe so. So let me just do it here. Yeah, it will give you the same error, and it must be written to abstract. I did not really make it abstract. It should be by default, right? Yes. So what is the problem? Class. Yeah, it's a class itself is a visa payment, so we need to implement it. So if we implemented the print here, it can be working fine, and it will not show you any, or actually did not really add it here. So let's do it, and now let's see what he has. So we have overridden print here, and we kind of have implementation here and implementation here. So regardless, it doesn't really care about which one you're overriding the print regardless. So this is also another point here. To be honest, it's not really efficient to be used like this one, but yeah, if this something popped up, you now understand how things like this work. But the main idea of how you can differentiate between a class and the interface, abstract class and interface, is the is-a relation. If it's an is-a, then it's a class, abstract class. If it is not, then most probably you're gonna be working with interfaces.